While I'm busy recovering from cuckold porn, here's a card trick. You would pick any card you want. In this case, let's say you pick the 4 of clubs. That card is going to get lost in the deck, never to be seen ever again. As a matter of fact, you're going to find your own card. I want you to name a number. Name any number you want. 14? 14. That's very questionable, but I'll tell you what. Let's count down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 right there. Now, had you said a different number, it would have been any one of these cards. But instead, you said 14. And of course, the 14th card happens to be exactly your card, the 4 of clubs. Now back to watching that sweet BBC. Any card at any number. Magicians are obsessed with this plot. They put more effort into finding different ways to do this particular trick than finding a girlfriend or personal hygiene. So here I thought I'd share this method with you guys. It's very easy to perform, not a lot of work, and you have an any card, any number, technically, that you could do from a borrowed deck anytime, anywhere. But make sure to check out the PigCake Magic Academy, the home of over 1,500 videos going over card stuff, coin stuff, everything you need from beginner to advanced, all for the low price of $5 a month. $10 a month, you get access to the Mentalism Academy, which is my take on mentalism. Everything that I've ever known is going to be there, so make sure to check it out. And I'm always uploading new content to Patreon. So it's not just one of these things where I upload twice a month. No, baby, you're getting videos every single week. So there are a couple different handlings that I'm going to show you guys here. One is the tabled handling, and the other one is the handling that you saw performed for the camera that stood up. Please ignore my attempts to impress you with my virginity. So first things first, you're going to need a card selected and controlled to the top of the deck. My favorite means of doing that is the Mahatma control, where you are simply just getting a pinky break right above the card they pick. You're then going to lift up on all those cards and just shuffle them to the bottom of the deck. You see what that does? That actually places their card directly on top of the pack. And you could keep it there by pressing your little dirty, disgusting fingers on the back of that card as you lift up the shuffle, which actually keeps that card there throughout the entirety of your overhand shuffle. Now, at this point, you're going to estimate. You're going to estimate what number you think the participant is going to pick. Now, obviously, you could control this by just saying, do me a favor and name a number, I'll tell you what, between 1 and 20. Now, what I've done there is that I've just cut approximately 20 cards above the participant's card and kept the pinky break. I'm not really counting them. I'm just cutting an arbitrary amount of cards on top of them. If you want to make sure you're safe, cut a bigger amount. If you're a little bit ballsy and in the mood, cut a shorter amount. Now, the reason you're doing this is because in a moment, you're going to ask the participant to name a number. Whatever number they name, we're just going to count down to that number, all while keeping the break. Let's say, for the sake of explanation, a participant happens to name a number in this range. Well, you're preserving that pinky break all the while. All you're going to do is turn these cards face up on top of the deck, as you mentioned to the participant that they could have picked any number, and that would have been a different card. But instead, they went with the number they picked. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to square these cards up and immediately lift up on my break. So the perception that I'm trying to do here is that I've just lifted these cards up, and that's the card that they happen to have stopped at. Really, all I'm doing here is spreading these cards, scoring them up, and immediately lifting up at my break. So I'm not lifting up at the card that they actually stopped at. I'm lifting up at the break, which is their card. I'm going to outjog this card and push it forward. So look at the condition of the cards so far. We have a face-up batch of cards. We have a batch of face-down cards followed by their card that is outjogged. You can now remove this card and show it to the participant to be the card that they happen to have picked. Now, the great part about this is that now you could spread the cards, turn these back face down, and you're clean. Now, the other handling for this is a minor change. Don't get excited, those of you on the registry. But we're going to count down to the participant's number. We're going to turn the cards face up, and we're going to spread them. Now, we're going to mention to the participant they could have picked any one of these numbers, and it would have been different cards, but of course, they went with the number they picked. We're going to square the cards up, much the same. However, this time, instead of outjogging the card, I'm just simply going to lift up at the break and thumb this card off on the table. When I thumb that card off on the table, I could then place these cards, reiterate to them one last time that all these cards are different. They could have picked a different number, turn these cards face down, and now I'm clean. So then they turn over the card, and of course, it happens to be their card. This is a nicer handling for when you have a table available. You could thumb the card off onto the table, and you're good to go. Now, I know what you might be thinking. How do I get so much vagina? But you're also thinking, what happens if they name a larger number than where you have the break? Well, then just add more cards. Add more cards and keep the break. Don't be stupid. There are such things as dumb questions. Check out my brand new projects that I'm linking down below with Peter Turner, where I go over open prediction and out of this world. One is called Worlds Apart. The other one is called Open Predictions, where we go over pretty much the best of what we know for each one of those plots. I'm going to leave that link down below. Me and Peter really had a ball filming those, and I'm sure we're going to be working together in the future, so look out for those as well. Now, my dad, Magic Orthodoxy, recently put a review for both of those, so if you want to check that out as well, that's a great thing to look at because he really goes in depth as to what me and Peter cover if you're curious about it. Now, one of the comments that I saw really struck my fancy, and this one right over here. Now, I know I shouldn't really address YouTube comments because they're the bottom barrel of society. Really? You're not going to like good old Piggy because I said the word retarded and I make fun of fat girls? Look at that height. I'm punching up when I make fun of fat people, when I use the word retarded, when I make racially insensitive jokes. So shut up. Be better.
Be better. Be better. Be better. Be better.
You again. When I see 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 you again. When I see